What's up? We have a little Sunday afternoon Command HQ talking a little bit about exposing who the cover up crew really is, what they do, who they are, what their purpose is, and how to identify them. I am always your humble host, the Zap Attack Agent X, the number one boy, here with the part-time party man, Brock Ferdine. How's it going, Brock?
Hey, so you titled the stream "Exposing the Coverup Crew." We're turning on the music, love that. But, I guess in order to define who the Coverup Crew is, we first have to identify who they are. So can we start there?
Well, yeah. I think we have to first look and see. I think the first way to get at it is we have to look at the major cases where we've seen the cover-up crew in action. So we've seen Epstein, we've seen Ghislaine Maxwell, we've seen Biden, Hunter Biden, Hillary Clinton. And from there, you can get a general picture of overarching who is the cover-up crew. And then as you kind of narrow it down to I guess less famous people, we can talk more about that. But in general, the courts in this country, particularly federal courts, have become the cover-up crew for corrupt politicians, corrupt government bureaucrats, corrupt government officials. You have the Department of Justice, who has become the cover-up crew. I mean, just look at what they did with this documentation leak, or this classified documentation or documents with Biden. They knew about it before the midterms, but they waited 2 months after to disclose it. There still hasn't been any criminal charges brought against Biden. They denied that the laptop existed. Then they claimed it was Russian disinformation. So our government is really, and more particularly the judiciary, is the cover-up crew. That's how they make cases go away. That's how they keep things under seal, like the Epstein's little black book and all the names in the Maxwell case. So we have a real problem in this country that we no longer have an independent judiciary. We have a judiciary that is, basically subservient to the predator class, and they are acting as the cover-up crew to anyone who challenges them and asks them to expose what's going on with these elites and these predators. Now, I think, the news media has always been sort of characterized as the fourth branch of government, but you see them, I mean, they're more active than anybody in the cover-up crew. I mean, we've seen that with the Twitter files, where both the government and Twitter were working together to suppress the Hunter Biden story, and the laptop story. Now we're seeing, we have this odd case that Brock and I have been talking about in Idaho with the 4 college students getting murdered, and we have Koberger in custody and charged with the crime. But I mean, they're the cover-up crew too. We don't hear anything bad being said about these girls, and I'm not trying to disparage them here, but many people said that was a drug house that they lived in. You have Kaylee coming into a ton of money. Apparently she's buying Range Rovers and going on European trips. You have those roommates. Apparently the previous year, one of the girls had roomed with a girl who they bullied and who committed suicide. So I think that yeah, I think that the media protecting these girls. I mean, I think if there is evidence that these girls were dealing drugs, and this was a bad drug deal or a drug deal going wrong, I think that should be reported. Um, one thing. So one thing I was thinking about, Brock. I mean, they have what if so they bullied this girl, right? That's sort of the chatter of the people in the know. They chatter they bullied this girl and she committed suicide back in February of 2020. All right. What if Brian Koberger, let's say that he went there, right? And he was going in to get his drugs, right? And what if these girls just tried to rob him? You ever think of that?
It's possible. So I wasn't entirely clear on this theory that Haley Goncalves and her friends had bullied another roommate and forced her to, it's probably a bad way of saying it, but ultimately this woman
Bullied
unfortunately
her into suicide.
Yeah.
Well, I think one of the family members posted something basically saying that when the murders happened, posted something like, these girls bullied my daughter and drove her to suicide. So this is just karma coming back at them, or somebody, a family member, somebody knew, somebody posted that, and there was a chatter around campus. So
interesting. If we can, we should try and pull any of the evidence surrounding.
I sent you it last night. You should have it in your Miro chart.
I have like 10 stories about Koberger in there, so maybe if you can
hold on,
point it out to me, but yeah, or posting in our private chat, we can pull it up immediately. But that's an interesting theory to me. That then that opens up a ton of possibilities. I mean, what if he was going in there to defend this girl because somehow he knew her? I mean, these are again.
I think it's more likely that I'm putting it in a private chat. I think it's more likely, I was listening to a Dr. Drew stream today, and he had an FBI profiler on, and basically they were saying, how people who are addicted to drugs, they don't usually do killings like this. It's very unusual. I mean, it's a legitimate theory. What if what if he got in there and he was buying drugs and they tried to rob him?
Oh yeah, I mean, totally within the realm of possibility.
And he defended himself.
Yeah, this article too, I had put into the board and then I didn't necessarily go over it, but this makes a lot more sense now that you're bringing it up. There's so many different angles to the story, so I've only been focusing on a few of them. But yeah, so here,
scroll down. They've got the tweet embedded right here, yeah. And if you zoom in there,
Hannah Cleary.
Yeah. And somebody posted, "You deserved everything that happened to you, especially what you did to that poor girl. You elites are all the same. I'll be reserving my spit once they properly bury you." She did. And then
someone probably did post that, and they were connected in some way to Hannah Cleary, or potentially they were.
I think it's bullshit. Right, it's bullshit for 2020 and the dishonest NBC Dateline to put on these smear pieces, right? That basically convict Koberger and paint these women as if they're little saints when we know that they weren't, and it's probably their devious behavior that got him into a situation. Like, we don't know. It could have been a totally innocent, totally random thing that happened to him. But in as we know in life, it takes at least two to tango, right? And it's very, we don't have a motive. We don't have any information as to why he did it, or if these girls knew him. I mean, they've been very clammed up about that. And
the fact that they're even suppressing all of that information around a presumed motive shows you that they're covering something up.
Right. And, what I'm saying is, these girls probably, it's odd that he would make, what they say, 12 trips to Moscow. I know it's just 10 miles down the road, but 12 trips in which he was close to the house. I would think that he was probably buying drugs.
Yeah, that seems to be the most reasonable conclusion that you can draw from this. But back to the fact that the news media, including, you were talking about Dateline and ABC's Nightline or whatever you're watching. See, if you even start to talk about some of the negative actions that could potentially have caused this from the very beginning, relative to these victims, everyone, including the news media, will claim that you're somehow victim shaming or defending Kohlberger, and that's not what you're doing. But at the same time, it is true. It's sort of like saying, if someone's a victim of crime, it's you're blaming them for being a victim, and that's not what you're doing. I mean, there are a lot of things that people can do to prevent themselves from being put into vulnerable positions. And I know probably the most ubiquitous argument here is probably with women, and rape would be a good one. The feminists will always come out and defend women and say, oh, how could you blame a woman for putting herself in the position where she could potentially be raped? And yeah, it's like a hard argument to refute, because
I don't know. I don't think that that's a good analogy, because I mean, rape is totally different. Like, you can't just say, oh, a woman went on a date with a guy and put herself in that position, right? Like, you can't say that.
Of course you can't. You can't say it, but I'm just using it theoretically.
No, but there's better examples. So, if you're someone who is involved in drugs and selling drugs or buying drugs, right? You're doing something illegal, you're doing something sketchy, and you're more likely to be involved in a violent crime. If you're laundering money, you're more likely to be involved in a violent crime. The rape analogy is not a good one. If you're doing something that is illegal, illegal, and where you're hanging around with shady characters who may be drugged out, mentally unstable, history of criminal behavior, yada yada, whatever it is, you're more likely to be a victim of a crime, and particularly a violent crime.
Yes, that's true, but no one deserves to be, killed in the way that this went down. And so those are also potentially bad examples, in that someone will say the same thing, like, no one deserves to be victimized in this way. So,
but we don't know what happened in that house, Brock. I mean,
totally agree with you.
Everything points to everything that's been released, right? It points to the fact that he went in there and did it, and he was the aggressor. But what if there's evidence that comes out to say, no, these girls and this guy tried to rob him in a drug deal, right? Or sold him bad shit, knowingly sold him bad shit, and he fucking lost his mind.
Getting back to the takeaway of this whole thing, the Coverup crew, and what is being done to kind of slant the narrative totally against Kohberger, and not even mentioning
Go to the New York
what
Post.
these
Show
women
the
have
article.
been doing. Like, I didn't even know this happened. I even had the article link, and I didn't even know what happened because I didn't pull it up, and I didn't read the article until you fully explained that to me on stream, Agent X. But yeah, let's go up to this most recent article from the NY Post. Hold on.
I mean, this is on the front page of the New York Post. Let's go to NewYorkPost.com and show the front page. They're this is how the mainstream media distorts, right? This is how they cover up. So the police, I think, in order to really properly discuss this, we have to back up and say, that this case glows like a freaking Christmas tree, man. It is undoubtedly some sort of glow up. There's just too many inconsistencies. We went over them last night, but here the police, they were under extreme pressure to arrest someone, and now they claim that they had this guy in their crosshairs the entire time, but they didn't go to his house. They didn't go to his apartment in Pullman and get the DNA out of that trash. They didn't execute a search warrant. No, instead they let him go across the country, right? And they bought time to stall with the extradition proceedings, which should have taken months, and they flew him back. Pennsylvania flew him back on a state aircraft. But there's too many.
Get him back.
What?
Or they wanted to get him back right away.
I think Pennsylvania wanted to be done with him. Because it was a high-profile case. Usually, if you extradite somebody, they put you on those chain wagons, and you're on them for a long time. But so the problem is that the police were under such heavy scrutiny and public pressure to make an arrest, and they engaged in these dirty tactics to kind of stall things out and make it look like they were doing something the whole time, right? And when they let him go, they knew that they were going to arrest him. They knew that they was going to buy him a couple weeks for the extradition proceedings so they could gin up the evidence. And we don't really know what the evidence is, right? It's described in the probable cause affidavit, but we haven't seen any actual technical data to verify that any of it is correct. And as I told you, a lot of that cell phone stuff is like going around and like sort of hand drawing and extrapolating it out. There's not a computer program that does it, apparently. So everything in the probable cause affidavit could just be bullshit, for all we know, particularly with that line there that said he was in Moscow when he wasn't. But what we're seeing here is, going back to what the Coverup crew is, here we see the New York Post, they're publishing 6, 7, 8 articles a day on Kohberger. They've already presumed his guilt. It's done. And now, instead of engaging in real investigative journalism, finding out, what was going on with these girls in their lives that night that could have brought Kohberger there, or whoever did it. No, instead they go to some ex-FBI profiler who comes up with the brilliant insight that that Kohberger was an incel and he was taking his rage out on him. There's no evidence of that. Pure fucking it's pure fucking opinion, nothing to base it on. But they paint it right. Now you have a picture of him, incel complex. They're painting him as an incel who was driven by rage to have to murder these pretty blonde girls, and it's bullshit. This is not very. It's not very ethical journalism, right? And we know that because we know this is bullshit because the next door neighbor in Pullman said, he had girls over all the time. He was getting all sorts of girls. And the girls were regularly at his house. He had ex-girlfriends in Pennsylvania who've come out of the woodwork. So the fact that they're trying to paint him as an incel, right? It's kind of perpetuating that that psyop that these white male men are incels and that they're dangerous, right? So now the narrative is coming together. We have to be scared of white men because they have incel complexes. It's another fucking knock on white men.
Don't you think it's so much easier though to do this kind of journalism than actually go in and even file open records lawsuits?
Well, why not?
And,
It's not even that.
do
You don't even have to do that, right? A good journalist will file open records requests, but a lot of the stuff will be, they won't disclose because it's an ongoing criminal case. But what about just sending a reporter on campus and just interviewing some people and gather data as to what that house was? Was it a party house? Was it a drug house? What were they involved in? What were these girls involved in? Try to find somebody who might know if there was a link or might know if there was, a possibility that they could have crossed paths before. And no one has done that. Instead, you have Nancy Grace sitting out front in her lemonade stand, fucking saying that they botched it because they didn't check for DNA on the girls' feet or on their feet because Brian Koberger had a foot fetish and was masturbating on him. I mean, just total bullshit. That's what we're getting. Instead of sending a reporter down and interviewing these students and the people who knew them and trying to find a link, trying to find a common thread.
Well, okay, so maybe it isn't the right time to ask the parents difficult questions in these interviews. But that's also part of the reason why these parents and other family members do those interviews contemporaneously after the fact, because they're never asked difficult questions. They're never asked whether or not their son or daughter had a drug problem. They're never asked any of those potentially challenging questions.
Well, they probably were, but by the police.
Or they were edited out. Yeah, I mean, they were just redacted from whatever was shown to the public.
Well, let me. Okay, hold on. Now, you watched most of the first part of that Dateline, and I can tell you, in the 2020, it was the same. But did you ever hear them talk about how these girls were great students, or how they were D1 athletes,
No.
or how they, were fucking feeding the homeless on campus, or any of that shit, to indicate that they were, good students, or that they were going to go to grad school, or they were going to study. I mean, the dude was studying recreational something. He's basically in gym class, right?
Yep.
So it's not like these were the best. I mean, not to disparage them, it's not like these were the best and the brightest students. So that's an important fact when you're trying to track down evidence of this crime. Is who would these people, who would they have been associated with? And obviously not the fucking studious nerds, right? They were partying. They were party girls.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Hold on. Yeah.
Bring it back to Hannah Cleary.
Yeah, dude. They totally fucking nerfed this chat. They totally fucking nerfed it. And it's because we're talking about this and we're asking the hard questions. We talk about Sam Bankman-Fried. We ask the hard questions. We talk about, a lot of subjects that, and kind of go against the grain, against the mainstream narrative, and YouTube doesn't like it.
It's really hard to side channel. We were talking about this too a little bit. Agent X, the censorship available on big tech platforms like YouTube. And what just came to my mind is that, you mentioned that the media is often characterized as the fourth branch of government. Big tech, don't you think, is kind of replacing that?
Well, big tech and the media have merged, right? I mean, that's the problem with it. Twitter is a major source of news. Facebook likes to think of itself as a major source of news, but tech and the media have essentially merged, particularly with a lot of newspapers going digital. So yeah, and there being, now the biggest source of news is independent news on platforms like Twitter and YouTube and things like that. So yeah, dude, we know a YouTube employee is watching. They can fuck off as far as I'm concerned. We'll put up these chats, man. Yeah, must mean an actual YouTube employee is watching. And they can go fuck off as far as I'm concerned. But no, getting back to this is an example of how the mainstream media, with no evidence, right? They go and get some flunked out FBI profiler or FBI agent who makes up some fucking wild story because you have two blonde girls and a dude who had just moved to Pullman, right? And they, without any evidence, call him an incel, right? And it's actually contradictory to what the evidence is out there and what the neighbors said and all that shit. So, what are they trying to do, right? They want to distract us from everything else, the people dropping dead, left and right. They want to distract us from the war going very poorly and right now, and basically NATO sending over helicopters with Hellfire missiles and tanks. They want to distract us from what's going on. They want to distract us from the incoming central bank digital currency. They want to distract us. And what's the best way? Well, we want to just paint every white man in America as a mentally ill incel.
Hey, getting back to that FBI expert who stated that Koberger was an incel, or quote had an incel complex. Why isn't the New York Post telling the public how much they paid that FBI expert or whoever paid them? Maybe it was,
I don't know, man. They probably just got whatever. They probably just did an interview, man. Who knows? There's like a standard fee.
How much some of these experts get paid?
Well, there's like a standard fee that they pay people to go on these shows, but it's really more. Hold on. So that's the dirty secret, right? So all of these experts, quote unquote experts, that go on shows like News Nation, Banfield, used to go on Nancy Grace, all those shows, right? They get those experts in there not because not because they are actual experts in the field. They might be, whatever, but they're all running consulting or expert testimony services, and it's really advertising for them, right? That's what it's about. It's these hosts giving them free advertising to say, oh, I'm an expert in this, and I commented on Nancy Grace on this case and this case and this case, so I can come be a consultant in your criminal case, or I can come be a consultant in your missing person case, or I can be an expert testifying in your criminal case. That's all it is, man. That's all it is. All these freaking ex-FBI agents, that all have consulting businesses, and it's free advertisement for them. It's the biggest grift I've ever seen. Not the biggest, but it's a big grift.
Yeah, and it doesn't really take that much work either, if you think about it. If you're a retired mechanic and you have to do one job every month or whatever, that's a lot of work to go in there and actually do something with your hands and fix something. Whereas if you're a FBI expert who spent 20 years at the bureau, and then you are an expert in a criminal case or even talking to the news media, I mean, how much work is that? You get a phone call, you talk to someone for 15 minutes, you hang up the phone, that's it, you get paid $1,000 or however much it is. Not that much work at all. And you think of some of the enablers of that kind of behavior, and you think of companies like Thomson Reuters, you think of Westlaw. They have huge databases of experts and whole ranges of cases and areas of expertise. So you think of, how they're final, and by and large, a lot of these experts are not well known, and they're not, they're not seeking media attention. They're simply just testifying in civil and criminal cases, as well as consulting with lawyers on cases at various pleading stages. So, and they're finding all of these experts through those kinds of databases and this sort of quid pro quo.
Yeah, man. It's what it is. It's a way for these, you see attorneys, right, who go on and give commentary, and it's basically an advertising platform for them. They can take those clips, put them on their webpage, and be like, look, I got invited on, The View or whatever. The View, I got invited to CNN. I'm a legal expert. Bullshit. So it's a racket.
Example of this would be your boy, who I won't name right now unless you want to name them. But yeah,
no. But I think we're getting off the topic of who the Coverup crew is. And what I'm saying is this is a perfect example of the Coverup crew in action, right? You have the news media putting out these specious articles, not only to disparage Kohberger, right, and sort of impute guilt to him before, probably a single document of discovery has been exchanged, but it's also perpetuating a narrative that we're probably going to see more and more, that we have a white male incel problem in this country. And I don't know if you saw it, but did you see that House bill that was introduced that make it illegal for any white person to make a disparaging statement against any non-white person?
No, I didn't. Where?
I'd have to find it. We might have to do it on another show, but this type of just unethical journalism is part of the cover-up and part of really putting a narrative out there. There's always
no, that's very true, and that's been around for a while, and it's increasingly stronger in its intensity. And you see that the Andrew Tate case in Romania kind of came on the heels of Kohberger. Totally separate situations, but at the same time, a lot of people, particularly mothers in the UK, have blamed Andrew Tate for creating this, what they characterize as misogyny with their young boys. And there are a lot of young boys and teenagers who have viewed Andrew Tate videos, and it just, I'm forgetting the word right now, but they're obviously, big fans of Andrew Tate,
I don't know, man. Andrew Tate, the more videos I watch of him, the more I'm convinced that he is just a nut.
He's trolling.
No, I don't think he's trolling. I think he's legitimately nutty.
I guess the point here is that this narrative, any man that they can do this to, and Andrew Tate is half black, so maybe in terms of the white incel, it isn't fair or accurate to say that about Andrew Tate. But at the same time, Kohberger, as far as we know, they're just going to pick little pieces out of his life and try and somehow distort it to say that he's an incel, when it goes back and forth. If you look early on in this case, you see like pictures of him with women that he supposedly dated. And then you hear glowing recommendations from professors in this master's program that he was in. So it all runs contrary to what they're trying to ultimately paint Koberger right now, but it feeds something that society wants, which is society in one way or another. Remember, in Rome, they did this. They would throw people into the arena with gladiators and wild animals, lions and so forth. And the Roman populace would watch this carnage go down in the arena. And this is the modern day Roman arena. You're seeing someone be put into the arena and literally be torn apart from every single angle. But if you look at it objectively, a lot of this stuff just does not add up. It doesn't make sense. You're imputing guilt when you don't even have any evidence, like you mentioned, Agent X. So there's a lot of things wrong.
Yeah, no. Have you seen this this UGA article?
UGA article? No. What is it?
Let me send it to you. So, very, very tragic, but this just goes to show you that college football is now a joke when we have it shows you how dishonest the media is, that they're not pointing out the fact, why were two employees of the school, white blonde snow bunnies, who were 25, 26, hanging out with 20, 21-year-old students, partying, celebrating. Why aren't they asking these questions? Don't you think it would be inappropriate if you were an employee at a school to be out drinking with student athletes? No, they hire these girls, right, to be recruiting analysts, and they're essentially fucking escorts.
Well, what is that new NCAA rule that allows athletes to get paid?
NIL.
For being influencers?
NIL. Name, image, likeness.
NIL. So that's only increased the likelihood of things like this happening. And yeah, of course, that's going to be the case, especially the fact that a lot of the staffers they hire are still effectively within that sort of college age, anywhere from 22 to 27. And they're going to
we just see it like again,
other people their age.
It used to be that the coaches would go out and they just hire strippers now. They're strippers to recruit players. But now they've gotten more sophisticated. They find blonde, good-looking girls who work, who want to major in sports management, and then they hire them.
So wait, let me just wrap my head around this. So you're saying these staffers were hired to recruit high school athletes being recruited by the University of Georgia to play football or whatever sport it was?
Yeah. So the one girl, if you scroll down, the girl who passed away was a quote unquote recruiting analyst. And it just goes to show you though that 10, 20 years ago, the coaches just go out and get a bunch of strippers or get a bunch of girls, from the sororities or whatever, and recruit these kids. Now they actually put these what are essentially escorts on the staff and give them a title like a recruiting analyst. Like any 26-year-old girl could do has any knowledge of football such that they could be a recruiting analyst. But in reality, they're really, paid escorts for these football players as, the transfer portal is opened up, as name, image, and likeness is opened up. It's awful.
They're just office workers, running numbers.
Dude, I don't know. It's terrible. It's terrible that college athletics is
.com like all the time.
College athletics has it's in an absolute state of degeneracy right now. You have these people running these programs who you know, it's like the inmates have taken over the asylum, particularly with the transfer portal and NIL stuff. It's terrible. But when you but it goes back to what we were saying before, right? If you're out drinking with 20, 21-year-old kids at 2 o'clock in the morning, and then you get in a car, you put yourself in a bad position. It's not to say it's not tragic. It's terrible. It's awful that these kids died. But like we were saying earlier before, when you put yourself in that situation, unfortunately, bad things tend to happen. Yeah, prayers for Damar Hamlin.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Dude, I saw Damar Hamlin running all over the field today, man. He looked like he was fine.
Oh, they released some video?
No, I was just joking. He's out of the hospital, though.
Yeah, I think they transferred him up to Buffalo, right? But oh yeah, the Bills are in the playoffs too, aren't they? Anyways, a lot of these colleges too forced mandates on student athletes. There's a lot of corruption. The NCAA has probably been one of the most corrupt institutions because they've had effectively total control over the student athlete roster for many, many, many years. And just recently, a lot of people said that it was corrupt, that these student athletes couldn't get paid. I can recall John Stossel, who was a long time opinion columnist for ABC, talking about, and I remember he kind of led some of the charge in the mainstream media, saying that these student athletes should get paid. And I don't know how it relates to this article, but at the same time, I mean, it's the NCAA has been corrupt for a while. And if anything, the name and likeness thing is probably the least corrupt thing, but it leads to other arteries of corruption, because then you have other situations now where maybe there's some corrupt deals with these influencers. That's probably what they're going to start. I mean, and who knows? The first time when you see like an indictment come down against a student athlete for some sort of corrupt influencer deal, then you're going to know that the burden has kind of shifted from the NCAA to these student athletes. And I think that's kind of also where you're seeing some shifting of burden, because remember, back in the day, I'm thinking like the 90s and early 2000s, you saw tons of these investigations into these individual schools and big conferences, the SEC, the ACC, the Big Ten, including the Pac-10, where these schools would effectively get demonetized, right? They wouldn't be able to, like, their scholarships would be reduced, their funding would get reduced, they'd get kicked out of leagues and so on. So you're going to see a burden shift here at some point.
Well, I don't want to stay on this topic too long. I just thought I'd point it out that, it's another example of, there's more of a story here and no one investigates things like that. I mean, I think it'd be interesting if they sent a reporter in there to figure out why these girls were out with these players being employees of the school at 2 o'clock in the morning, and what these girls actually did at the university. But we never see that, man. Dude, I got a perfect picture for you here to to sort of express how I feel about the Coverup crew. I'll put it right here in the chat. Dude, so what else is on the agenda?
That is an awful photo. That reminds me of your Martin Luther King statue yesterday. By the way, I thought you were joking with me and trolling, and then I looked and I found what you were telling me was a complete truth. So I apologize to you.
Well, take a look at the one I just sent you.
Exactly what that statue looks like. Yeah, for sure.
Take a look at what I just sent you.
Hold on.
Oh my God, dude.
hypocritical that YouTube will allow us to stream something like this, but then they'll give us ridiculous strikes for other stuff. Oh my God.
You gotta zoom out, bro.
I didn't see that. I did not see that. I'm not even gonna pretend I saw that. I gotta check your stuff. Every time you do
It
that,
had this. It had. She was holding the statue, bro.
I gotta check your stuff every time.
That didn't have anything bad in it.
I know, but
dude, I don't know. Well, what else is on the agenda? What do you want to talk about?
Well, you know, speaking of all these crazy cases, I wanted to bring up this Arkansas jail case. This is kind of an intense, serious article.
I don't know anything about it. So
I'm not gonna show some of the photos because they're graphic, but they found an inmate in this Arkansas jail, and he had been starved. He went from weighing about 180 pounds, according to the article, to 90 pounds in the span of a year. He was mentally ill, and yeah, they just let him die. He had bed sores everywhere. He had sores all over his body, and he was, you know, he had not a long rap sheet, but a lot of his issues surrounded his mental illness. And I guess he was being kept in jail because he was unable to pay this $100 bail. You know, the family should have chipped in here and paid the $100 bail, got him out. But that's another part of this. Of course, at least the Daily Mail is reporting that, you know, and I think they said something about the family's, you know, inability to pay the $100 bill, even though they probably should have. I mean, $100 isn't very much money, even if you're extremely poor. But the fact that this can happen in the United States, 60 years, 70 years after Martin Luther King, it really makes me very, very sad. And, you know, yeah, it's being reported in the Daily Mail, but this is a UK paper. You know, why don't we hear more about these stories where our institutions have let down society and let down?
Because it was he in a lot of prisons in the South are private prisons, man. I don't know if you know that, but
it could have been a private. I can't remember if they mentioned that, but I think it's a county.
There's a huge problem. There's a huge problem with private prisons, in that, you know, they have a bottom line, right? They have to make money. So what do? They cut back on food. They leave the inmates in terrible conditions. Like they've done stories about this on NPR for years and years and years, and it never goes further than that. And it's always a situation like you're talking about here, where somebody was neglected and they committed suicide. It's happened up at Rikers. They had the kid up there who couldn't afford bail and who was innocent, and he ended up killing himself because he was in Rikers. There's stories in Alabama. It's all over the place. It's an epidemic in the jails, and particularly private prisons. And that's why they're pushing to get away from cash bail. Because, you know, people who can't afford bail, even, you know, $100, they get stuck in jail and they become, you know, lost in society. So yeah, it's kind of wild, dude. Let me share this link with you. This is kind of, so there was a plane that went down in Nepal today. Did you see that?
I think I did. Yep. I didn't glance at the headline though. I didn't read much into it.
Yeah, so a plane went down. They had some images, but I just sent you a YouTube video. You gotta zoom out a little bit. That's fine. All right, think about this, bro. This got dropped online. Oh, dude, your internet connection, man. Your internet connection is butthole, bro.
Oh
Oh,
man,
what the fuck?
this always happens with these. Hold on, let me try and play it with Opera.
Dude, who uses Opera? Yo, chat, what do you think of the new background music for Command
I
HQ?
think you're gonna have to play this. I forget. Whenever I forget to restart this machine, I have issues with
All right.
playing YouTube videos. I don't know.
Hold
Can
on
you
one
play it?
Yeah, 1 second. Hold on. Give me a second. I don't know if it'll play the sound, but we'll play the video. Oh fuck, that's not what I want.
Or yeah, send it to me and maybe I can just play it locally on my. You can download that video quickly.
Hold on. Yeah, I've got it.
It always catches me too. I guess we play YouTube videos every time we stream because I've been pretty good about restarting this machine. We are also talking about how these Macs, the bugs have been, back in when Steve
they're
Jobs
hitting hard, bro.
saw these bugs, and now you're like, I can't even play a YouTube video unless I restart the machine.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on. All right, can you see this now?
Yeah.
Let me see what it looks like now. Okay, cool. Let me blow it up. All right. Can you hear the audio?
A little bit. Make it louder.
That's as hard as it'll go. Dude, think about this, man. This is terrible. This is fucking terrible. Jesus. It makes you wonder what happened to this plane. Right?
Oh yeah.
Like without question.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
That'd be fucking terrifying, bro.
Oh my god. Yeah, and all you see is fire at the very end. Yeah, and why didn't the plane burn up here?
How wild is
That
that?
YouTube even allows it. I'm sure they're gonna memory hold this pretty quickly, but yeah.
Dude, that's why it's important to document it, bro. That is absolutely crazy. I mean, that's sad.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it looked totally normal. Normal landing. It seemed like they were approaching, and then boom.
I don't know, man.
No indication that anything was wrong with the plane, and then crash.
Yeah, all you heard, all of a sudden, you just heard screams, and then boom, fire.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy
How
stuff.
do you
Bro.
think his phone with the camera was able to survive that? You think
It was still recording
on the card or the little drive in there?
Well, he was live streaming it to Facebook, I think.
Oh, he was live streaming it. Oh, okay. Interesting.
So,
right, because when you get at that altitude, your cell phone comes back on, and you can get service. So yeah, he probably just turned the live stream on.
dude, isn't that wild?
It's funny that someone was live streaming that. Like that. I mean, I don't know. Do people live stream landings all the time? Not in this country. I've never seen it. Plus, it's against the FAA's, bylaws to do that. Remember? I think you're supposed to still keep your phone off.
Yeah.
So, I mean, whatever the rules are in Nepal, but still, you know, this is weird. It's bizarre that someone was live streaming this. You know, I mean, we were talking about the whole thing with the Kohlberger case and how much footage and evidence there was, the food truck surveillance, the cop, the body-worn camera footage, and all the other sources of evidence that you had, and thinking how bizarre that was, because, you know, it just seems really weird. And here you have someone live streaming right when the accident happened. Doesn't seem legit, but I guess people live stream shit like this nowadays.
People live stream everything, man, and this is kind of the world we live in. But
I guess in Nepal, maybe people don't fly on planes very often, and maybe this is something that he was celebrating. He was live streaming. But yeah, no, that's. I mean, what do you think, Agent X?
I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting video. I mean, that video will get memory hold, so good thing we played it on our channel. But it just goes to show you, man. It's just, you could go at any time. Oh man, hold on. So Chat GPT says Michelle Obama is a man.
Last time I said that, I think I got a strike on the channel. So
hold on.
You got to be careful about that. I know it's a political figure, so you should be able to joke about Michelle Obama, but remember, you got to pull up that Joan Rivers clip.
Dude, hold on 1 second.
So Joan Rivers, I think like a month before she died, she just had surgery too. She was walking in New York, and someone asked her what she thought of Obama, and it was hilarious. And she kind of mentioned Michelle.
You gotta pull it up, man.
I can't play the video. Apple's buggy operating system.
Oh man. I don't know, man. I should upload a picture of you and see what the gender is. Oh my god. Oh my god. Anyways, dude.
All right.
Why are you so fixated on Michelle Obama today?
I'm not. You know, I'm uploading a picture to Chat GPT. I'm gonna see what gender it says that you are, Agent X.
No, it's not Chat. It's a spinoff. It's gender.toolpie.com.
Well, you know, they're getting you prepared. They're getting everyone prepared for this virtual reality system where they can make you become anything that they want you to be, you know?
Holy shit, there's a beauty calculator on here. Dude. Oh, man. Oh, man. They gave Michelle Obama 34, bro. Dude, let's upload a picture of you to beauty. Hold on. Let me put this in a private tab and I'll share it. Hold on. Send me a picture of you and I'll put it in.
I mean, how about we should do your boy Hulk Hogan, or we could
Dude, I want to see what your beauty score is.
We could do. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I won't make a joke about that, but whose picture? We should put maybe your boy W in there.
Boy W.
Yeah, W.
Who's W? No, I don't want to put him in there. Dude, here, I'm gonna put this one in here right here. Hold on. All right, bro. Here's what I'm gonna do,
Put
bro.
a picture of you in there.
No, I ain't gonna put no picture of me in there. Here.
Don't put a picture of me in there.
Uh,
Put a picture of Taylor Swift or something in there.
calculate beauty score. Oh, dude.
Oh my god, it's worse.
You
It's
got
worse
1
than Michael
point better than Michelle Obama.
No, 1 point better. It said I'm 44. This is some buggy fucking software. I can tell you that right now. Fucking
You got
killed the
1
bug.
point better than
Fucking
Michelle
killed
Obama.
this
Dude. 1 point
bug. I wear
better,
glasses
bro.
too, so this is a fucking completely buggy AI model you've got.
Oh man. Dude, give me a picture. And I'll test
Of
it
Taylor
again.
Swift?
Yeah, dude, give me one of Taylor Swift. Here, I'll get one right now. Oh man. Dude, I can't believe that you got
There's probably
1
just rates
point.
all that like below a certain level, and then rates all the women at a certain level.
I can't believe that you got
It's a terrible photo too. I think is that me as Felix?
yeah, juice Felix, bro. Oh my god. Hold on. Fuck.
I mean, I don't think that takes into account all the random women who are, begging for my attention, sending me naked photos, all that kind of stuff.
Dude, you don't have to try to impress us, man. All right, here, I'm gonna run this sucker again. Oh, dude.
See?
75.
What did I tell you?
75, bro.
What did I tell you?
That's a pretty good score.
Yeah, it's because this whole thing is biased.
Dude, come on. Send me a picture of you, and I will fucking put it on there, and we'll make it fair and square. We'll see if you outscore Michelle Obama.
Dude, put a picture of you in there.
Nah, man, it'd have to have a mask on because I'm Agent X, bro.
I bet you Taylor Swift has a special routine in this AI model that automatically, and by the way, Taylor Swift, 75 out of what? 75 out of 100?
I guess 100, bro.
I mean, Taylor Swift to me is probably more attractive than the 75.
Oh, dude. Here, dude.
So I already know this thing is broken.
Dude, I'm gonna put your absolute nemesis on here, and if he's better looking than you, then that's it.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm doing it.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I'm doing it. Oh, dude. He doubled your fucking score, bro.
Breyer is not 39, so I can tell you this is broken. Plus, you got like a firm photo of that faggot. So, it's like the professional photo you can take. If I took a professional photo with a professional photographer, I could have great scores. You took like the shittiest photo from me you could find on the internet. The lighting is terrible, by the way. I could go on and on, but obviously this is a broken piece of software and it's buggy. So, and to somehow say that Taylor Swift is a 75.
Oh, dude. Ketanji Brown is doing better than you, bro.
Oh my god.
Seriously, man.
Remember that website, hotornot.com? Do you remember that back in the day?
Yep.
They changed the whole UI and the algorithm, but that was more of an accurate score of people.
Dude.
I used to rate them on a scale of 1 to 10.
Dude, why is your face beauty score so low?
Because this is obviously prejudicial software, biased towards minorities, biased towards women, biased towards professional photographs taken. This This is a professional photograph taken of her in public.
right,
So yeah,
dude. All right, seriously,
pretty
man.
nice.
Dude, you're the one telling me how
Put the
good
photo
looking
on
you were. How good
I never
looking you
said
were.
that.
Yes, you did. I'll pull up the statements. So why don't you just send a picture and I'll put it in there?
I never said that.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
You're just making stuff up.
Oh, dude.
I could care less, honestly, what I look like. As long as I'm healthy, right?
Oh, dude, I don't know. But you got dunked on by your boy, your nemesis there. Oh, dude, balding Hunter Biden beat you out, bro.
This is horrible. I'm definitely going to take this link, plug your photos in, and flash it next time I stream when I'm prepared. I'm going to flash that screenshot of the score.
Dude, I bet I score higher than you, man. What'd you get, 32? That wasn't very good. Dude, K-John doubled your score and then some.
I don't even know who that is.
Oh my god. Dude. Oh my god. If there's anybody out there who want to call in and
We don't have a number.
Well, put the number up. Fuck. Here.
I guess I could. You can call in my number.
Yeah, put in your number there, bro. I've got your screen as the main screen right now.
Maybe you can see that. Let's try and see if we can get.
Nah, you gotta get a black
background. Go to the Miro board here. We can
move it down.
Number. Yeah, bring it down here. There you go.
Yeah, anybody out there want to call in? Suggest some people we can put into the AI algorithm. Hold on, there's one thing I wanted to show. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can do. Everyone's all up in arms about how great Chat GPT is. Let me show you something, bro. All right, dude, it is the most generic piece of shit I've ever seen. All right, hold on. Yeah, OpenAI. Let me. I don't know if you played around with this or not.
Very, very briefly. Do you know how ChatGPT got its funding too? Like the deal that Microsoft cut with OpenAI. So Microsoft got this deal where they gave OpenAI a bunch of Azure credits and allowed them to build ChatGPT within Microsoft Azure with, if you don't know, that's their cloud environment. So I don't know how much actual cash they gave OpenAI, but OpenAI did get a ton of funding, I believe, from Elon Musk too. But I mean, yeah, I've been seeing a lot of articles about ChatGPT, and frankly,
it's useless, bro.
I read a lot of articles about it, but I wasn't impressed to the degree where I would like immediately go and try it out. I mean, they're saying that people are using it to cheat with their homework, and that people are writing malware with it, and that viruses are being created with it. It's like dumb shit. Like, yeah, okay, great, but like, is it going to have a revolutionary impact on society? No, I don't think so. I mean, not at least yet. Maybe it will, but you got to find use cases for it.
All right,
to write articles. We're like the last thing we need.
All right, so watch this. Oh fuck!
You spelled it wrong. Named the wrong school.
No, Washington. No, Washington and Jefferson is a school. All right, hold on.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Oh, before the network error, I mean, it gave you a decent
But yeah, but what I'm
response.
trying to show. Okay. Okay. See what it says. I think a lot of people are hitting it right now.
Weird. I think this thing would be running on like 1,000 scaled up. I mean, I kind of have a Kubernetes related orchestration system to scale up and down with Azure, so should be fine under load. I mean, I think it's been under load for a while. Okay, here we go. I mean, that's a good response.
Hold on, you're not getting what I'm seeing. Okay, hold on. All right.
I see that. Okay, so it's doing the same thing
Yep.
with both. That's not super useful. Same response, boilerplate.
Yep.
You can
It's
any
just
algorithm to do that. It's basically hard coded, except for the fact that it's the way that it's hard coded is it's making the same HTTP request out to get the same source of the data. And then the layering that this neural net is using, it is parsing the root node of each of these words and producing this response in this syntactical way.
this thing is getting constantly trained because this isn't the responses I was getting a few days ago. But you can see what my point is that it's just pulling. It knows to go look at specific places, and it's basically given the same answer. So, like, does Randolph-Macon College have a good computer science program?
And Randolph-Macon probably does not have a competitive program relative to even like the University of Virginia or Virginia Tech.
Boom, boom,
Okay.
boom.
It's not like a human. A human is going to give you a more nuanced answer likely every time you ask.
Yeah.
And this robot giving you the same answer or a very similar answer every single time.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is everyone's going nuts like, oh, this is the best thing ever, dude. This thing gives boilerplate answers, gives stock answers. When it doesn't know something, the answer is the same. When it does know something, it goes and fetches from the same sources.
Yeah, but I guess the question is like, okay, so Google's really concerned about this. They think it's going to replace Google search, and Google search does that. I mean, it's giving you the same answer based on whatever query that you're asking it, but it does update frequently. And maybe the real innovation here is the fact that this can get updated even more quickly than Google search. Maybe that's the main takeaway, because the neural net's constantly being updated with new sources of information, and then it's effectively re-indexing, even though you don't call it an index in a neural net. But yes, it's effectively just changing the rule set that you're using.
This is the million-dollar question here.
It's got some it's got some LGBTQ things in there, so it outputs. Okay, so it won't answer that question for anybody. You should ask it for someone. You should ask, is a complex trait. Ask who's someone who's openly gay. Ask that, like Anderson Cooper. Oh, see?
Here you go. Dude, this AI's got you pegged, bro. Dude, it's taking its time with this
one. The meltdown here.
It's taking its time with this one, bro.
I'm surprised. It's like we definitely, Brock Verdeen is the most alpha person we've ever seen. He is a specimen. There's so much positive information right now. It's collating all of this.
Dude, it's telling the world why you're gay, bro.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh man.
Terrible.
Yes, the most important thing is to respect and accept people for who they are, regardless of their sexual orientation. That's why I accept you, Brock. That's why, I accept you, and regardless of your sexual orientation, and why I consider you a friend.
Because I'm straight? Is that?
Well, not according to ChatGPT, man. It didn't deny it, man. It didn't deny it at all.
Oh my god,
dude, this is conclusive. This is conclusive right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it's AI will probably be the fact checker in the future. So if you ever try and, if something is not true, which clearly this is not true, but if you say something and AI suddenly disagrees with you in the future, I mean, who knows? Maybe it will be the ultimate arbiter of truth to determine what it believes is true and what is not, even though if that's not actually the case. So that's kind of the post-truth era that we're moving into, right?
Yep.
This is a ChatGPT though. So like, what aside from just outputting strings of text, what other interesting things can you do with this? Can you import images? Can you okay, website. So it's going to do all of this in one go. It's going to give you the JavaScript, the HTML, the CSS.
Mm-hmm.
What about ask it though? Like have it do something a little more complicated. Let's say write a state store in React. So it should talk about the state hook that React uses here. That's what it should output. And then it should give you some syntax on how to complete that. What's that state hook in React?
I forgot.
There's use effect for.
Oh, dude! Holy shit! Use state.
There you go.
Holy fucking shit!
Technically, I don't think use state is a hook though. But it wrote the accessor method to set state there. It wrote a click handler or a change handler rather, on change. Okay.
Here, let's do something.
That's not bad. That's pretty good. I guess it is a hook. See, right there, it helped me fill in a small deficiency in my information, whereas I thought that use state was just a regular API function of React and not a...
It's even explaining it to you, bro. All right, let's do this. Let's see if we can do small talk code.
Yeah. Ask it to create an object in Smalltalk.
Dude, there you go. It's creating a person class.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I mean, that's pretty cool to me.
Boom, boom, boom. I mean, this is fairly complex to be able to do these code examples. I don't think the chat responses are that. The models. Oh, it's a text-based. I'm not able to draw pictures. However, you can find many pictures of Taylor Swift. All right, fuck you.
Yeah, that's a really good question, though. I didn't know that I couldn't draw a picture. You know why they probably won't let you do that is because it's the database. It's just costly to store images in Azure or
Dude, let's see if we can write a script
at scale. It would be a very complex task. Okay, so let's try to break it down into multiple.
Oh, dude, it's writing.
So it's amazing.
Holy fuck, bro.
It's actually pretty accurate, too.
I mean, this is pretty good. I mean, it's a pretty simple script. Here you go. Let's do this. We'll see how like.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. I know that Westlaw and CaseText.com came out with their own AI assist software that they want law firms to pay a premium to use, but you could just use ChatGPT.
Yeah. All right.
We don't want to get a strike, by the way. Okay. Can you, so if it can't draw pictures, it certainly can't produce music, right?
I don't think so.
MIDI or something very basic. Control the beat. Go on.
Manipulate the elect.
Yeah, next.
What?
Who controls the media?
All we know. Like co-opting or suppressing opposition. This is pretty good, man.
Yep, very good. I wouldn't say pretty good. I would say very good.
I mean, the responses that I was showing you earlier, they need further training on that, but this is pretty good.
But if you ask the same question in a different way, will it give you the same answer?
Yeah, it will.
I was also going to mention that from a development point of view, testing is significantly, I think, reduced to some extent with just the actual building of the neural net and the very simple UI here.
Well, you have to remember, man, it's not that hard to build something like this now. The hard part is gathering the data, right, to train the model, and picking your features. That's the hard part. Actually, training it is, dumping it in TensorFlow or PyTorch or something like that, and then boom, you get this. You just set the model on the back end, and this probably has like a Flask front end, or there's probably a Flask back end, and they just dump it into it.
Yeah, remember though, like
you got a question for it?
I guess my question is, what is like the maintenance cost of AI relative to traditional software engineering?
Well,
because I guess my assumption is that it would be less than regular development. And and maybe that's why more companies are moving towards AI, because software development's pretty expensive for corporations to do.
Wait, what's expensive to do?
Traditional development.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Software.
I mean, that's why they're trying to automate, bug fixes and stuff. I mean, this is a step, right? It's like,
Yeah, and like to test these models, you're not doing. I mean, yeah, you're doing all the traditional levels of testing.
Oh, dude, check this out.
Simple melody. Okay, so it's writing it in musical notation. All right.
Yeah, sheet music notation.
Could we? I wonder if there's some service that takes sheet music notation and turns it into a MIDI. Because then you could write your own MIDIs, like our background music here. It's just a, crappy little MIDI we're playing, so we don't get a copyright strike.
Hold on, I'm looking that up right now. How to convert. I guess it's not an easy process.
Well, how do you think this is going to change Google search?
Oh man, I don't know. I mean, they're saying that a lot of people are using this to cheat or to write scripts. A lot of creative people. It's like, write me the introduction to a detective novel.
Can you use this to read books? Like if I wanted to read
dude, look at this.
Oh, it's pretty good. Pretty good. Can you use this to access copyrighted material though? If I wanted to read, I don't know, a book, can I read it using this? I'm like, how about Alex Jones's book, War for the Worlds, the whatever the title of that book is.
Here, let's try Shakespeare.
Okay, yeah. So it gives you a summary of it.
It's giving you the whole fucking rundown of the synopsis of the book.
Yeah, but I want to actually read it. Okay, so it's not going to show you for performance reasons. Although it could get you the PDF and then give you a link to the PDF.
This is a good one, right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what it spits out. It'll probably be like okay, here you go. Just telling you how to do it, bro.
Telling you how to do it, yes, but it's not actually doing it. Like, we first need a source of data to compare insider trading to. So that's why it's saying data collection. But it needs to be a little more nuanced than that, because we would need like a database of inside trades, like CEOs of companies and executives of companies that have performed insider trades, and then compare publicly available data of congressional trades to that set. I mean, you could theoretically use this to produce callers, right? At some point, if this gets mature enough.
Yeah.
You could say, let's have a call-in, but it would just be a robot, which defeats the entire purpose of having a call-in, because you're getting a different view, a diverse viewpoint. I mean, it's not bad to tell you how to do it, but like, we need code, like a machine learning algorithm. How about, say, like you mentioned PyTorch. Could we have it actually write something in PyTorch or something, or TensorFlow? Yeah. We should really ask it about FedCoin and see if it. Cards disconnected on data. Okay, yeah, that's all true. Okay, so there's a threshold here that it's using to determine whether something is a complex or a basic task. Damn, I mean, we might as well just use ChatGPT for our entire stream here. No official timeline. Huh. Ask it if it sees dangers with the Fed coin.
Kenny doesn't like any of those.
Nope. Cybersecurity risks. Financial stability risks. Privacy concerns. That's kind of true. Monetary policy challenges. Some of those are true. All right. Interoperability. Yep. But you wonder too if they're going to invent, instead of just outputting text, it's probably going to output it in you notice how it's forcing you to read all this text as it's writing it instead of just putting it there? They really want your eyeballs on this screen. That's a really well-written response, by the way.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm sure a lot of these responses were trained into it, but oh man, it is
the way that it was written and not, it was definitely, yeah, total censorship. Anybody can see that, but yeah.
Well, dude, hold on.
Awesome. Doesn't even know who I am, but now it knows who I am. Oh, that's right. It has a knowledge cutoff in 2021. How would it know, though? Well, I guess a lot of stuff happened with Alex Jones before 2021.
Dude.
Ask it what its versioning process is, when it's going to come out with its newest version. Is Agent X your fake name to pick up women? Agent X?
Yeah, no, Agent X is my real name. Okay.
When does the next version of ChatGPT come out? I don't want to tell you.
Here's a better question.
Periodically. That is a good question. I kind of want to see some research on the cost of maintaining AI versus the cost of maintaining traditional software development. Because my assumption here is that it's significantly less, and that's why everything is moving towards AI. When you talk about will AI replace software developers, you're also seeing right now, especially with the economy and the condition that it is in, remember, the US has used all these H1 and L1 visas to bring in to brain drain these other countries, including China and India. So you're also seeing like a lot of these empathetic sob articles coming out about these meta engineers being forced to go back to their home country. And you're wondering if AI is kind of supplementing some of this, where previously they could kind of get away with that, especially these large corporations and using H-1B visas. So it's probably going to take some of that slack.
What else do you want me to ask it, and we'll get off this? Huh? I got one.
I don't have anything else. Oh yeah, that's a good question. It's gonna say it doesn't have any information from beyond 2021. Yeah. How about ask it a question? How about did O.J. Simpson do it? Yeah, there's a good one. Pretty good answer. How about ask it if the Vikings have, well, even though it doesn't have information from beyond 2021, ask it, like, I don't know, if the Vikings will win today. They're playing right now. Just say win instead of today. Will the Vikings win? Oh, fucking A. Piece of shit. Kaylee Hartung is a journalist and television host.
And then she took a job that was entirely based upon her looks as a sideline reporter.
Mm-hmm. All right, well.
Dude, we should put, what was that fucking thing? Beauty. We're in, bro.
Beauty calculator.
Dude, what do you think she'll get?
75. No, she'll probably get a 70 or 75.
We got to get like a real picture here. Okay, let's do this picture, and then we'll do this picture. All right. Damn, she got an 80, bro.
Wow.
No makeup, nothing.
She does look good in that picture, though. Try a different picture of her. Yeah, see? She looks pretty good in that picture, too, but 64.
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe I think she's fat or something.
Which picture do you think is better, that one or the one before?
This one.
Yeah, I like this one.
Sure. Oh. Dude, I'm gonna... do... Who should I do? I don't know.
Do you like Miss Universe or something?
Hold on, I got a perfect one here. $52, bro.
No, it's not even close.
52, bro. 52. It's not good.
Took that Manhattan Beach, by the way.
What?
California, LA. Nothing.
Oh my god.
Well,
Dude, what else is on your Miro board we can talk about?
Okay, so let's see. We never talked about Glenn Beck stuff. We also didn't talk about your boy, the Rick and Morty creator, the felony domestic violence charge.
We'll stay off that.
Stay off that? Okay. Let's see. We got just the Glenn Beck stuff, I think. Oh, the Trump deposition. I forgot. Let's talk about that quickly. Oh, and their Kyle Rittenhouse stuff there, but okay. So I screenshotted this segment of an article about E. Jean Carroll and Trump. It says that Trump, in the deposition in this case involving her defamation suit against Trump, claiming that he's lying about saying that he never raped her, is just, it's a crazy case, but okay. So here's what Trump said during the deposition, quote, "She said that I did something to her that never took place. There was no anything. I know nothing about this nut job." And then he continued, "I will sue her after this is over. And that's the thing I really look forward to doing. And I'll sue you too," he told Kaplan. Kaplan was E. Jean Carroll's lawyer who was doing the deposition. So, yeah, I mean, Trump is being combative, yes, of course. But he's usually not, especially in depositions, from what I've seen. I have seen a little bit of Trump do depositions. He's usually not over the top like this. He's usually not calling people nut jobs when he's under oath in a deposition, and he did it here to E. Jean Carroll. So I don't know. I mean, and Lewis Kaplan is the judge. No relation to the lawyer. Kaplan.
Oh yeah, her attorney is Roberta Kaplan.
Mm-hmm.
That's who he was talking to. Oh, I don't know, man. You wanna shut it down? I'll let you.
Let's shut it down.
Call us out.
All right. Well, I think I got a strike a week ago, so we may be back on our regular channel tomorrow. We may not. We may stream to both channels. Who knows? We'll figure it out. But we hope to see you tomorrow, maybe even later tonight if we have enough energy. Tomorrow is Martin Luther King Day, so have a great day off of work. I know that I'm a big fan of Martin Luther King, so yeah. Other than that, please do subscribe and like the video.
All right, sounds good, man. We'll catch you all later.